Hello and welcome to Apex Racing TV. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. We are here to bring you VRA, Virtual Racing Academy's iRacing Formula 3 Championship today. With me, we have Jack and Sam behind the scenes in production. And we've got a big grid of about 40 cars here at the lovely Interlagos circuit.
Yes, indeed. It's great to be here at Interlagos, of course, for the third round of the Virtual Race Academy iRacing Formula 3 Championship. Virtual Race Academy based over here in Ireland. We're based in Mondella Park up in suite number 3, and we are in for a great race today. So, championship leader Keith Dempsey on pole position at the moment. Behind him is Brian McManus, Jordan Kelly, Charlie Eastwood, of course, you may know him as the Aston Martin factory driver, Jamie Moylan, Richard Westbrook also joining us tonight. So a great grid and a fantastic track to be sending these cars around. So also great to be to have the first broadcast on Apex Racing TV. So thanks for having us, guys.
No problem. Welcome along, Jack. And for those who aren't familiar with the format, we've got a 10-lap heat race, and then we have a short warm-up into a 20-lap feature race with a top 10 grid reversed. So lots of action heading our way. Guys are just griding up for the heat race now, and probably see some spectacular images with the F3 using the new damage model as well.
Yeah, we all know how vicious the F3 damage model is, and with a grid of about 45 cars, it's going to make for some hopefully very, very exciting racing as we're about to get underway for the third round. Let's see if Keith Dempsey can hold on to this lead, and away we go at Interlagos. So it's a good start from Keith Dempsey. It's a great start from Jordan Kelly from the second row. So it is Keith Dempsey who leads into turn number 1 as we head into the famous Senna S's at turn number 1. As we watch 45 cars make their way through. Looks like everybody looks to have got somewhat cleanly through there. It's very hard to do that when you've got so many cars in a line, but it looks like everyone got away cleanly there.
The top half did get away cleanly, but there has been several cars involved in some incidents at the Senna S there. And even carrying on down the back straight, we've still got some carnage there. Wheels flying and wings flying everywhere, so several cars being affected by that one. But out in front, Dempsey has managed to get himself a few car lengths ahead. And we've still got someone trying to do a bit of a slide job into the hairpin there. The tyres not quite warmed up yet. The V7 tyres do take a couple of laps.
Yes, they do indeed. So there was a bit of firing. There was a change for second position as we were talking there. So I believe that was either Jordan Kelly or Brian McManus making their way up into second position. So looking further down, let's see who's been involved in any of those incidents. And as we've said, the damage model is so vicious. So even the slightest bit of contact on lap 1 will completely ruin your race for the entirety of the rest of the session. So it is Keith Dempsey who leads as we look at a move here between, that'll be James Holman up the inside of Jordan Kelly. So Jordan Kelly's that's not Jordan Kelly, sorry, there's Richard Westbrook up ahead of him as we head through onto lap number 2. So as we said, 16-minute heat race, and then we have the grids inverted for the next heat. So not quite sure what happened on lap 1 there, but appeared that half the field got involved in a massive accident.
Yeah, we have about a dozen cars that went to pit lane, unfortunately. So in such a short race, that's pretty much their chances over. They'll just have to try and keep it clean and get some redemption in the second one. But there's some great battles happening towards the front here.
Yeah, we're just having a look at Keith Dempsey as he leads. He is, of course, the championship leader and was the previous VRA GTE Pro. Sorry, he wasn't actually. That was Niall Quinn took that last time. So Keith now trying to bag himself a championship, and he's comfortably out front at the moment. Of course, he's alongside the Dempsey clan, Peter Dempsey as well. Dempsey is, of course, a very successful racing family out of Ireland, of course, and it's always great to see them racing with us here. So it is actually Charlie Eastwood second.
Some more contact there on at Zhangzhou, and that's Keith Rabbit, and he's been able to pick the car back up, a little bit of front wing damage, but he'll be able to continue at least and try and score a reasonable finish. He's currently in P24.
Yeah, so just on the update, let's see how the leaders are getting on. So there's Keith Dempsey from Charlie Eastwood, of course, and it's always great to see Keith and Charlie battling it out on track. Of course, Charlie, Aston Martin factory driver now, very successful in the world of GT racing. So doing a great job there, and it's going to be great to see how these guys battle it out on track here in Interlagos.
Yeah, it's been great to see the real world motorsport and the sim racing worlds kind of collide or intermingle the last 6 months or so. In particular, a lot of pro drivers coming across into the sim world, which is great to see, getting involved in some leagues and special events. So
Yeah, of
Kelly's
course. So
Kelly's just trying to get a good exit out of Zhangqiao there to get the slipstream, stick with his teammate here. If they work together, they still have time to get up towards Dempsey and Eastwood if they can just be smart about it. It'll be interesting to see if they are able to close the gap a little bit.
yeah, Jordan and Brian, extremely experienced VRA. So you can just see Brian going a little bit deep there to allow Jordan Kelly to get the cut back around the outside. Can he make this work? Max Verstappen-esque in the wet in 2016. Can he make it on the run down towards the next part of the corner? He's going to have the outside line. It's going to be very tricky to make this work. He's got the overspeed though. Has he got enough to get past Jordan Kelly? Yes, he does. And get past Brian, excuse me. So Jordan making his way through. Brian not fighting that too much. Of course, with his teammates. So they are now going to be able to close the gap up to Eastwood and Dempsey, if possible. But these guys are holding a great pace up front.
Yeah, just looking at the timing screen, there's very small gaps of under half a second between cars all the way down to about 24th, 25th position. So lots of close battles have been happening in the mid-pack there. Some of the cars that were knocked out of the race earlier have rejoined to try and salvage something. So it's good to see them try to continue.
Yeah, of course, these F3 cars, they are fantastic for this kind of racing, for this close quarter battle, because you don't rely on so much aero like the F1 cars. Of course, they're based around that. And I just noticed in the battle, Brian McManus is having to fend off an attack from Richard Westbrook, who goes up the inside into the Senna S's, ahead of Brian McManus now. So Richard Westbrook, also part of the Aston Martin family. I think he's actually going to be competing in the GTE series in Le Mans later on. So fantastic to have another great Aston Martin driver here with us as well in Richard Westbrook. So great to have them. Of course, we've had some fantastic drivers. We had Johnny Adam in with us as well. We've had Alex Albon in with us in round one, which is, as we said, fantastic to have the real drivers competing with the quote-unquote normal people in sim racing. So that's fantastic to see.
Yeah, that was a great move by Westbrook there. Set it up with a good exit from Zhangqiao and used the little bit of tow you get from these cars. And we're just looking through some of the midfield or bottom end of the top 10 here. This is Martinez, followed by Douglas, and he's just trying to work his way back up onto Holman. Douglas behind, looks like got a better exit from Zhangqiao. He probably had a run on Martinez here. If he still gets into turn one, where you might see a move there.
Yeah, of course, this straight, the best overtaking opportunity on this circuit. Now Wayne Douglas looking for the move on Martin. He's going to have to go to the outside of the Senna S. It is quite easy to make this work if you get the braking right, but he's not quite able to do it this time. And looking for the cutback out of the Senna S is very, very powerful. Of course, if you force the other car to go wide, the other car can get the cutback and surge through down towards turn 3 and turn 4. So the top two names coming back at him, as you can see, still in the slipstream. He's going to have to defend, so Wayne goes to the outside line. Can he make it work? Not quite. It's very tricky to make it work there. So he's going to have to sit behind for another couple of corners. But to keep you updated, Keith Dempsey still leads this race ahead of Charlie Eastwood and Jordan Kelly. There's been no moves yet, but I'm pretty sure Charlie will just be biding his time. And Keith knows all too well, seeing the familiar sight of Charlie Eastwood right on his tail.
So there we go. He's only still only a few car lengths behind, so he's maybe not close enough to make a move here on this lap. He's just trying to keep the pressure on, hoping Dempsey makes a small enough error so that he can get right up into the toe. You have to be quite close in these cars to really get the benefit. Looks like we've got a decent battle around P12 as well. Shane Rabbit is sort of coming back from that moment he had earlier on. He's got Colin Bays and Kyle Stevens close by with him as well. Oh, and McManus gets a move.
So here comes McManus on Westbrook. He's retaken the position he lost earlier. He has the inside line to the outside line. Brian McManus looking for that late breaking through there, and he retakes that position. Westbrook gets the cut by, that's very close, coming through right there. Has he got the move done? Yes, just about, but Westbrook has not given up this fight. It is possible to go around the outside of this next corner. He's going to look for that inside line. He's alongside through the sweeping right-hander. Brian McManus holds it around the outside. Westbrook's on the inside, still has the inside line for the next corner. Great side-by-side action through here. Up the inside, Westbrook takes it again, and Brian's going to have another go.
Yeah, fantastic exchange there, side by side through a few corners, and you can see McManus is just using slightly different lines there now as he tries to gather it up, get back into a rhythm to have another crack at Richard. See how he goes with the exit from Zhang Chao here. He is still close enough to have benefit from the toe, but I'm not sure he got quite the exit that he was looking for.
So, as you said, Brian McManus is going to look for that other attempt, so he's having to break the slipstream. And just behind these guys as well, you've got the catching cars of James Holman and Wayne Douglas as well catching up to this. So they have got some, they're in with a chance. If these guys keep fighting, it's just going to slow them down even more. And Jordan Kelly has managed to break away as a result of that fighting. And the top two have remained unchanged, by the way. To keep you updated, Keith Dempsey leads, Charlie Eastwood second, Jordan Kelly third, Richard Westbrook is fourth, Brian McManus fifth, James Holman in sixth, David Martinez seventh, Wayne Douglas in eighth. And then we have Niall Murray up in ninth place, and Damien Harris P10, and then Peter Dempsey just outside the top 10 running around in there. So always good to see.
Colin Bays and Stevens here are having a great scrap for P13. We've just seen some two wide action down into turn 4 and now through the mid sector of the lap. Stevens Bays ran a bit deep there, and Stevens looked like he just had to lift just a touch just to make sure it wasn't going to spin around on him.
Yeah, indeed. So Colin Bays, Kyle Stevens, I have to say, I really rate that livery. The Jordan livery he's got on, it is stunning on that car. He's trying to keep himself in touching distance. Colin Bays very wide through there. That'll definitely be an off track. He's going to lose the car, surely. Not quite, but Kyle Stevens is going to say thank you very much up the inside. But now Colin will also have the slipstream as they come down the corner towards turn number 1. But with the speed he's lost, I'm not sure he's going to quite be able to close up here as they run towards turn number 1. Is he going to have that overspeed? I don't think so. He's going to defend anyways, just to make sure. But I think he's going to hold on. Colin Bay is going to try and go around all the way around the outside. That's very, very brave. Doesn't quite pay off. Kyle Stevens stays ahead. It was close, but I'll rate the bravery.
Yeah, definitely throwing it down there through the CNRS, as the legend did say, if there's a gap, you must go for it. So, and he's gone for that one there at the end of the straight. So he obviously didn't get too much floor damage from that incident off track before, but we're already on lap 9 of 10. The race sort of pretty quickly coming to a close here. So the guys are fighting tooth and nail for these last positions that they can try and get. Here we go. We've got McManus.
Just to
He
cut
has
back to
managed
this
to get.
immense battle for P4 between Richard Westbrook, Brian McManus, James Holman's in there now as well. David Martinez is in there. Look at the amount of cars here as they run around towards turn 1. It's going to be James Holman. He's going to pick up the pieces here right in the slipstream. They may go 3 abreast here as they run down towards turn 1. There's neck and neck as they run down towards turn 1. Richard Westbrook, James Holman right behind him. Brian McManus on the outside lines. They run towards turn 1. Richard holds the inside line for his life. Brian McManus around the outside of both cars. Can he make it work? He's just going to run out of space there. Richard holds on for now, but there's not going to be over yet. They run down towards turn 3. Brian McManus looking to take away that position from Richard. Well, there's contact and a massive accident for Richard Westbrook in the wall, and that's also David Martinez with huge damage on the left-hand side of the car. That is how vicious it can be, and that is race over, I think, on the final lap. That was a huge crash. My lord.
Yeah, Westbrook didn't quite get the exit out of 2 that he was hoping for. It was just a little slower, and then unfortunately just a tiny little bit of contact on the exit, and yeah, the wheels and wings flying everywhere.
That just shows you the how vicious this damage model is on these cars. But it just looked like, he just looked like he lost it on the curb on the way out. Just gonna have a look here. Just seemed like
is just heading around to take the checker flag. Sorry.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
Dempsey still with Eastwood in tow, but not quite close enough. So Dempsey's going to come across and take the win in this heat race, followed by Eastwood, and then we've got Kelly and McManus, and Holman will round out the top 5 after that battle ended in a bit of disaster there.
Yeah, that is a fabulous result for James Holman in P5, even if it was thanks to the crashes. But it's all part of racing. You got to keep yourself out of trouble to pick up the results. So James Holman in there, Wayne Douglas and Niall Murray, great drive up to P7. I think he's managed to get himself up to. Damien Harris will then come across in P8. Then Peter Dempsey, and then Shane Rabbit gets a top 10 finish. That's brilliant from Shane Rabbit. Always great to see Shane with us as well. So now, after that heat race, we're going to invert the top 10, which is going to make some interest. So Keith Dempsey will start 10th, and Shane Rabbit will be on pole for this next one. So this is going to be a really intriguing race.
Yeah, plenty of action in that one, particularly towards the end there. And there's a few cars that were trying to limp their way around to make it back to the line. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Westbrook was able to. His car, I think, only had one straight wheel on it, and probably ground half the floor away on his attempt to come around.
Yeah, I don't think he's best pleased. I think he feels that he was sent around by Brian McManus, and if there was netcode involved in that, of course, that is a factor as well. But looking back on the replay, it did look like there was contact between McManus and Westbrook. But of course, we have the stewards. If they want to submit, they can. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. But
crawling up the hill to make his way across the line. And that'll be a P26 or P27 finish, I believe. So I think that's all the cars finally across the line.
Yeah, indeed.
We'll be able to go through the results.
So now we're going to have a quick warm-up for this next session. And we're going to have a look at the grid. So as we said, it is a 30-minute feature race with an inverted top 10. So it should be Shane Rabbit next to Peter Dempsey. Then row 2 will be Damien Harris, Niall Murray. Then Wayne Douglas, James Holman, Brian McManus, Jordan Kelly, Charlie Eastwood, and then Keith Dempsey in P10. And the rest of the grid will remain the same. But be interesting to see how Keith manages to get through the traffic, because yes, you can lead from pole position, but can you side your way through the traffic? It's a key skill.
Yeah, it certainly is. It'll be definitely something to watch for, but there's also going to be about that dozen or so cars which got mixed up in the incidents in the start of the race there, so they'll be trying to keep it clean at the start of this one and get a bit of a recovery drive happening in the longer race. So a few different storylines to look for in this one coming up.
Yeah, so we're just going to use this opportunity to say big thanks to our sponsors, Dan Ryan Truck Rental. Of course, if you ever need a van or anything, that's your man for it. And BMOT as well, who are sponsoring the prizes for driver of the day. So there's a lovely prize for the driver of the day. So whoever is your pick will receive, I believe, £100 voucher for some fantastic food. So they do want to race well, and they do want to make sure that they get the prizes. So for once our opinion holds some value. so we'll see who we vote at the end.
And how do people vote? Is this an audience voted award, or?
It's our pick, so it's a combination of our pick and also everyone else's pick. So it's not just us. So we don't hold that power just yet. But it's a fantastic initiative. So big thanks to those guys. So we're just going to be getting ready in about 30 seconds to warm up. So warm up just to make sure I think the warm up also plays a factor in just calming yourself down after having that intense race, which it's quite hard to lose and then gain back. So yeah, it's going to be great to see how this gets on.
Also, just a chance for the guys to load up the heavier fuel setups needed for the longer race and get a feel for the balance of the car on the different fuel loads too before the race begins. So I'm sure that's what most of them are using this short warm up for, just to get a feel of the car on the different fuel.
Yeah, and of course, we mentioned this before, the tire model, of course, tire temperature is tire temperature is king, really. Compared to the old tire model, it's just on a whole nother level. Trying to get temperature into these tires is just so difficult, and just getting your eye in for that is also very, very key. So we're gridding up now, and going to see how the guys get on.
Here, so as you can see, we've got Shane Rabbit in pole, Peter Dempsey 2, then it was Harris and Murray on row 2. We've got McManus and Kelly, Eastwood, Dempsey, Bays, Stevens, Wall, Walsh, Denning, Moylan, Jamantis, Herderman, Dowling and Malone round out the top 20, and we'll just scroll through the rest as we get ready here, because it won't be too long before we get going.
And here we go. So away we go from the line for feature race. Shane one, he's got to fend off Peter Dempsey on the inside line. Run to turn one for the first time. It's going to be Peter Dempsey to take the lead of the feature race immediately. Just looking back, has there been any major incidents? Not so far as we can see. They seem to have made it through unscathed. There's a gaggle of cars fighting it out at the back, but it is Peter Dempsey who leads immediately. Shane Rabbit trying to come back at him here as they run down towards turn number 3. Can he come back at him? Massive move to the inside, looks back to the outside again, but should be able to hold on to that. So Peter Dempsey leads, Shane Rabbit second, Damien Harris slots into third position. Actually, I don't think that is Niall Murray up to a great position there. He's already looking for second place. That's a great start from Niall Murray. He's always a fabulous starter. Up the inside is Shane Rabbit to take second place. Can he do it late on the brakes? Goes straight through. Fantastic start. Niall Murray goes straight through to second place ahead of Shane Rabbit, and it is Peter Dempsey who leads this race.
Yeah, it's good to see a much cleaner start. There were a couple of cars that had trouble just at the very back, but considering they were 4 wide heading into the centre S, that is contact there though inside the top 10, and McManus is sent straight out on the outside. He's got damage. It's pretty much his race over, unfortunately.
Oh, that is a shame for Brian McManus. He was fighting with Damien Harris there, and looks like the left rear is completely come off that car. So just the tiniest bit of contact, probably just a little bit of wheel banging going on there. But back up to the important part as they go 3 abreast. They are going 4 abreast down towards turn number 1. As up the inside goes one of the turn 3 motorsport cars on Shane Rabbit. I believe that was James Holman, if I'm not mistaken. as we go through. Actually, it was Keith Dempsey goes through. He started 10th, remember. And that is Damien Harris trying to fight back at Shane Rabbit. Shane Rabbit trying to come back at Keith Dempsey at the same time. There's a lot going on in this field. Plenty of cars going side by side here. Shane Rabbit coming back at Keith Dempsey around the outside. Can he do it? Now Damien Harris look for the inside behind. As the contact, Barry Rabbit is off in the background. And they seem to have sorted out. They're 3 abreast running up towards the hill here, as this is going to get really messy. Charlie Eastwood makes his way through there. James Holman around the outside of Wayne Douglas. Jordan Kelly makes his way through, and Jamie Moylan is in there as well. There's so much going on. There's contact between Jordan Kelly and one of the other cars as well. Who was that? Just trying to find
Douglas.
Wayne
Douglas.
Wayne Douglas off the road.
And we did see in the background earlier, Westbrook had troubles again in this race, so he's had a round to forget. We've got more cars off down in
spinner
the
there, actually.
sector.
I just missed there. Sorry to cut across here. Just somebody spun there. I'm not quite sure. It was one of the turn 3 cars. Not quite sure who it was, but they've certainly dropped down the field as a result. And apart from that, everyone seems to be away and clean, especially our leaders Peter Dempsey and Niall Murray. Niall Murray, I think, started 5th on the grid up to 2nd place, and Niall Murray, super rapid driver. Got to keep an eye on them. Peter Dempsey versus Niall Murray. Keith Dempsey is up to 3rd place from 10th on the grid. Great start from him. Charlie Eastwood is 4th. James Holman is 5th. The 5 Turn 3 Motorsport cars are in the top 5 already as they run through here. Jordan Kelly's on the back of him here.
Wall and Bays made contact in the centre race, unfortunately. There's those 2 guys. Wall in particular tumbling down the timing screen, and we've got a car taking to the grass. That's Ben Herc, I believe, trying to get a move done on Martinez. It's not going to work trying to get down the grass on the inside there, and he had to back out of that one. So lots of desperate moves being made, even though this is a longer race.
Yeah, so it's just that it's the inherent racing driver go for a gap, but it doesn't quite work in the feature races. So as we were saying, the Turn 3 Motorsport cars are completely dominating at the moment within the top 5, and I believe James Holman has been overtaken by Jordan Kelly. So Jordan Kelly's ruined that top 5 for them. He's into P4, and also he has got Jamie Moylan in for company here as well. He's looking up the inside of him as they run through the last corner here. He's looks to be able to slip up the inside here with the overspeed, but of course that'll give the slipstream to James Holman, so he might have a come back at him as they run down towards turn 1. So Jamie's ahead as they're running towards turn 1. He has got the overspeed as well. Can he stay ahead as they've run towards turn 1? Looks like he's going to be able to. Should hold on to that move, holds the inside line, hugs that curb tight. And can James come back at him with the overspeed, or is he just going to back off and let Jamie make his way through? I think he's going to hold back for now. So they have sorted themselves out, and they progress up through the field. He has a look, but I don't think he's going to go for it. And back up to the front, Peter Dempsey under severe pressure from Niall Murray.
Yeah, he's closed the gap down to just about 0.3, 0.4 of a second. Last time round, he was a couple of tenths quicker than Dempsey, so he's been just steadily bringing that gap down. And we won't expect to see any crazy moves just yet at this point of the race, given that these guys are teammates, but it's probably a good idea to... Oh, and we've just cut to a big pile up in the middle sector of the track. We've got Walsh, Gibson's just taken a tow, several other cars involved.
Oh, that's a lot of cars involved in that one. Yeah, that's Victor Gibson, Kyle Stevens, Evan Walsh involved.
A net code there.
Let's just have a look and see at the replay, but it looks there's a lot of cars involved in that one. Victor Gibson is missing the entire front half of his car. Yep, so that's 1, 2, 3 cars involved in that one. That's a shame for those guys. They're running just outside the top 10.
A gaggle fighting for P13 here down the straight. We've got Yamamoto, Dowling, Malone, Bays, all vying for position, heading down into the centre rest.
Yeah, here we go.
Get it sorted out. Oh, it's still too wide. Oh, and the 14 there didn't get such a good exit, which has bunched them all up again, heading down the straight into heading towards turn 3.
Yeah, so Chris Bayes looking up the inside of Adam Darling. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. Chris Bayes, of course, the GT3 champion from the GTE Championship. He goes through in the Rothmans livery. Adam Dowling just behind him. Then Tony Stack, Jean Montero, Alex Denning, Joseph Adafaro involved. There's a big gaggle of cars involved in that one. So I'm not sure if they're all at the same pace or somebody's just stacking them all up. But it is Chris Bayes who currently leads that train of cars. And keeping an eye, what has happened? Yeah, so Charlie Eastwood now has caught up to Keith Dempsey. And I'm not sure, but it looks like Niall Murray has dropped off the back of our leader. Not sure if he's made a mistake. He has made a mistake, so Keith Dempsey is not far off the back of him, and Charlie Eastwood is completely latched onto the back of Keith Dempsey's the run towards someone. He's going to try and move. He's going to have a think about it. He dives up the inside. Can he get it stopped? Charlie Eastwood takes third from Keith Dempsey, but now Keith's going to come back at him, or try to, at least in the slipstream. Great battling between these two. We always like to see it. So in the slipstream, here comes Keith Dempsey. Can he come back at Charlie Eastwood down towards turn 3? He's firmly in the slipstream to the pull to the inside. Can he outbrake him? Looks like he's not going to quite be able to. So Charlie Eastwood takes third place and now can go Chet. He's gone wide actually through that part of the sequence, but he should be able to hold on to that one. And the turn 3 motorsport cars lead the top 4.
Just as we were riding on board there with Keith, it seemed like he was actually just rolling out the throttle just a touch. So I think he's happy just to sit there behind his teammate Eastwood just for now. Again, we're only on lap 6 of 20 here, so it's still a long way to go, and you can see the leaders just up ahead, so perhaps he's just thinking if they work together can punch back up and then have a scrap closer to the end of the race.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. I don't think they're going to try anything stupid on each other, so they're going to hold station for now, but I think it's going to get quite interesting towards the end of the race. But as you said, we're quite early on. Jamie Moylan running well in P6, doing quite well there. Kyle Stevens in there, and Olivier Van Herk has made his way into 10th place. Great job from the Belgian, doing a really nice job in 10th place. He's got Stefan Kelleher not too far behind, so he might have him for company quite shortly. But the Belgian running really well in that top 10. Always one to get his way through the field, avoid trouble. Always what we like to see, avoid the off tracks, avoid the incidents. And he is a staple of that. So Stefan Kelleher is right on his tail, actually. So they could see a swap for position here for that 10th place. Of course, all important point scoring positions. But looks like there's a problem for one of the cars up ahead. That's one of the VRA cars. Looks like he's pulled over to maybe a lap down. Could be one. I think it's Evan Walsh moving out of the way, and gets himself well out of the way as we progress on further into this race. Just going to go back to see how they're getting on.
Yeah, we've still got Dempsey out front, and just looking at Eastwood here with Murray and Keith Dempsey very, very close behind. Just looking at the hard charge reward at the moment would be going to David Yamamoto. He's up 27 positions. So
that's a great try from David Yamamoto. 27 positions up.
João Monteiro is up 22 positions. Kelleher's up 21. So yeah, there's quite a few guys that have really charged through this pack.
Yeah, of course. We don't just have the point standings. We have got the Gentleman's Championship and the Forever Ford. So there are prizes for those as well. So the Forever Ford Championship is for the person who gains the most positions over the course of the season. And the Gentleman's Championship is for the driver who has the least average incident across the seasons. So yeah, Jean Montero, he's currently 4th in the Forever Ford standings, so that should really help him, boost him up. Peter McCann's currently leading that on 56 positions up across the 3 rounds, which is quite a lot in the space of 3 rounds. So they're all fighting for various different things. There's 2 sets of pedals up for grabs for those 2 championships. So it'll be interesting to see who's out on top. Now, I've just been thinking, I wonder, is Niall Murray just let his teammates through, because Charlie Eastwood is now up to 2nd, Keith Dempsey 3rd, and Niall Murray's 4th. Now, I did see him run wide, but he has dropped from 2nd to 4th. I wonder, was that team orders or was that just a mistake?
I didn't see any obvious mistake, but it didn't look like they were really, fighting wheel to wheel aggressively for it. I think, we're still not even halfway through the race. Perhaps he's just wanted to take a bit of pressure off. Sometimes can get to people having cars so close behind. So sometimes if you just getting a bit nervous about that, you can sort of step aside, let them through, and then apply a bit of pressure from behind, or just take it easy for a few laps, just relax, ready for the scrap at the end. We've got another good scrap here in the midfield. Just looking at Tony Stack, he's in amongst Denning, Odafaro, and Malone, and he's got a bit of a 3-car train. They're just trying to make their way back. Oh, Kyle Stevens has made contact with something at the turn 1 there. Didn't quite pick up what he hit, but it looks like he had a little bit of damage.
Yeah, so he's just pulled off to the side. So that will be another position gain for David Yamamoto, who's up now to 28 positions, and he's lashed onto the back of Ricardo Siamantis up ahead as well. So it's been great, and so he's on track in the Forever Forward Championship as well. So this will help him, of course. But if he can get a top 10 out of this, that'll be fantastic for David. A regular in VRA, in the VRA racing colours as well. So we'll see how he gets on in the end. Just going to see how Charlie Eastwood is getting on and closing the gap to Peter Dempsey. I don't think he's closing it down too much. Peter seems to be in control of this one.
Yeah, just over a second, I believe that gap is. So it's actually gone out to round 2 now. So yeah, it's, Peter's just trying to extend that lead a little bit.
Looks like Charlie's chipping away at it slowly. Brought it down by about 0.2 of a second that lap. But we're on lap 10, so we're halfway through this race. So at the rate he's going, he could catch, but the team need to work together. And just noticing Jordan Kelly, but in some good laps, he's slowly catching up to the back of Niall Murray as well. So don't count Jordan Kelly out just yet. So he'll be one to watch. Going to keep an eye on how they're getting on further down as well. It looks
like we've got probably still Yamamoto in 11th. He's got a couple of cars in close company, and then also this battle of around 15th. Denning's trying to get a move done on Dowling here, I believe it is.
Let's have a look at Alex Denning. See how he's getting on. Yeah, Alex Denning on the back.
Sorry, it's Odafaro. He's trying to get a move done on Denning, sorry.
Yeah, other way around, yeah. So just for Odafaro, Alex Denning, Tony Stack's in that battle as well. See how... Oh, they made contact, right? Something in the back right there. I'm not quite sure if that was Neko. Didn't look like Neko. Looks like a pure lock-up on that one. Pretty clear cut.
Yeah, Odafaro was coming in quite deep into that corner, unfortunately, and yeah, it was quite a hard impact. Because Denning's off track there, lost the rear wing, broken rear suspension, and has taken the toe.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. But those mistakes happen when you're pushing. So, David Yamamoto, just to keep you updated on him, he's up to 11th place, just outside of the top 10, and he's catching that battle for 10th. To be a fantastic result for him if he can get himself into that top 10. And it'll be fantastic to see how he gets on. Charlie Eastwood, he's brought the gap down by half a second out of Peter Dempsey that lap, so he's closing. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on in this battle, because the laps are running out. So now we're going to see the team game getting thrown out the window in a way, because these guys are also battling for a championship. So you can forget about the team orders for this one.
McManus is trying to get a bit of a recovery drive happening after his troubles earlier in the race. He's in P at 22 now after just making that move on Neons. So he's got a bit of a gap ahead though, so some work to do to try and make up any more positions.
Yeah, so yeah, Brian, of course, I don't think there was anything major. I think it was just a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact that broke the left rear. It's a little bit unfortunate. Brian in that championship fight, so he's dropped down the order. We'll see where he ends up at the end. But back to Charlie, as he's taken another 0.3 of a second out of our race leader, and he's slowly gaining. We're on lap 12 of 20, and he's going to catch at this rate. Dempsey's keeping tabs on them as well, and Niall Murray's secure in 4th. Jordan Kelly, Jamie Moylan not too far behind. James Holman in the top 10 again. David Martinez, Stefan Kelleher, and Olivier Van Herk are your top 10, with David Yamamoto closing in on that top 10.
This race being a bit longer, traffic is actually going to come into this one, and they're about to hit the first of that quite soon. Probably just around the tail end of this lap. They're going to the car in 25th position, I think it is. It's Keith Rabbit. So and then there's a bit of a gap after him, but then they'll come across more probably later in the race. So, and Keith's just actually gone off track to make that very, very easy for them.
Yeah, always good to keep an eye on the blue flags. It's a key part of the racing. And just going to see what the gap is across the line between Eastwood and Dempsey. And just by the looks of it, it has come down again. Let's have a look at that gap as he comes across the line. 1.5, not so much that time, 1.5 seconds, and he's still closing, but he might just run out of laps.
Eastwood, that was the fastest lap of the race, 26.91, and 27.06 was Dempsey, so he's still chipping away at it, and there's 7 laps to go after this one, so he's got plenty of time left to get up there and then make a move.
Yeah, so Peter Dempsey, just going to look at the championship standings. Peter Dempsey is currently second in the championship on 160 points. Keith Dempsey leads it on 180, and Charlie Eastwood is on 157 behind. So he's 3 points behind Peter Dempsey. So this could be a crucial move if he makes it to gain points on Peter Dempsey. Keith Dempsey just secure in third, just going to extend his lead. But could be crucial for Charlie to move into second place in the championship. And it's only a 5-round championship as well, so every point is so crucial in this championship. And I'm going to go on to lap 14 of 20 now, and it looks like Peter has just slightly opened that gap. Let's have a look this time, just as he comes across the line. Was 1.5 last time. Let's see what it is this time. As he comes across, it's going to be 1.6 this time. So not so bad, but Peter is controlling.
Just looking at battle here down for 16th, we've got Graben, Condelis and Malone fighting for that round P17. And then there's another car just off the back of them as well, Montiero I think it might be. So they were quite close together. It's just started to string out a little bit. Just skipping forward up to Yamamoto in P11, he's got Diamantis all over the back of him for the center S, and he's going to try and see what he can do about getting a tow down the straight. He might be able to throw a move down the inside. He's looking, he just pulls the car out about half a width to show he's there, but decides against it, backs out of it. Probably not quite close enough on that occasion. Yeah,
so he's trying to hold on to that position to keep himself in that forever forward championship. So not so bad from him as we get into the closing stages of this race. It's still Peter Dempsey who leads this race ahead of Charlie Eastwood, ahead of Keith Dempsey and Niall Murray. So that's 4 Turn 3 motorsport cars in the top 5. So it's a pretty dominant display from the team. Keith Dempsey is actually, on the contrary, closing in on Charlie, just little by little, not much, but they are just taking different chunks of time out of each other. And interesting to see the little team dynamic that plays in here. Back to that battle between David Yamamoto and Ricardus Diamantis. Olivier Van Herk's in that one as well, because I think he's made a mistake and dropped way to the back. So this is going to be interesting. This is for 10th place and the tail end of the points. Can Diamantis make the move on David Yamamoto? Not quite. But now Yamamoto's also got the slipstream off of Olivier Van Herk ahead of him through the center S as they come towards turn number 3. Can he get the move done? He's firmly in that slipstream now, quite close to the back of him. Can he get into the top 10? Be a great result for David if he can do so. Trying to send one up the inside. Don't think he's going to be quite close enough this time. Thinks about it, moves to the inside, has a think about it. Olivier actually runs wide. That actually put him off. Can David slip it up the inside? Yes, he can. David Yamamoto into 10th place. What a fantastic drive.
Yeah, that's only 30 positions that he's gained now.
Only 30
so
positions gained. That's fantastic from
Oliver
David Yamamoto.
doing David doing a fantastic drive here, and you can see Giamantis doesn't want to get held up because he's been in that battle with Yamamoto. He's really trying to get through Kelleher as quickly as he can so he can resume trying to track down Yamamoto ahead. We'll see, he's going to try and get a great exit from Zhang Chao here and get the slipstream, but equally Ben Herc doesn't want to give this up. He's got his eyes firmly focused on the gearbox of Yamamoto ahead.
Yeah, so Olivier coming back at David Yamamoto towards turn 1. He's going to have the outside line. Can he outbrake him towards turn 1? He's going to have a go around the outside.
Oh, he's
Got it done. Beauty of a move from Olivier Van Herk. But now David Yamamoto's going to come back at him. Giasantis is in the back as well. Giamantis, excuse me. So now 3 cars. This is going to go 3 abreast. It could go 3 abreast here. Olivier's to the inside. Giamantis to the outside. He's got no space to work with. Yamamoto going to try and send it around the outside. Olivier's going to go late on the brakes. But David Yamamoto's going to send it around the outside of Olivier. He's going to run a tiny bit wide, but he's still there on the outside. He's the run up the hill. But now Giamantis has got the undercut on him. David gives him the squeeze to the inside line. Now he's going to look for the space on the inside of Olivier Van Herk. Giamantis around the contact, and Giamantis around in that Senna S section, at the end of the Senna S section, excuse me, and that's so unfortunate for him. He looks like he's going to avoid a damage, just a bit of tire on tire contact, gets the car going again, but so unfortunate. He was doing so well, but he's managed to get the car through unscathed and kept it going.
Just looking at the replay of the onboard from Yamamoto, and
just the tiniest of taps as they went through there. Just a tiny bit of a squeeze from Giamantis, and that just sent him around. Tiny bit of damage on the front wing. Lucky to get away with actually no damage in that one, but it's knocked him down to 15th place. And unfortunate, but our 2 choices for driver of the day, by the way, are between Charlie Eastwood or David Yamamoto. So it's going to be between those 2. Either way, he's gained over 25 positions in this race, so it's still nothing to take away from the drive he's put in.
Yeah, very fortunate to be able to continue without damage there. And I can see we've got Kelly right on the back of Niall Murray now. Looks like he's getting very hungry for a move here. Taking different lines, trying to move the car around, distract Murray ahead of him, and he's going to set this exit up onto the straight to see if he can get the move done for turn 1.
Yeah, let's see how Jordan Kelly negotiates Niall Murray. It's going to be an interesting one on lap 17, gone on to 18s. He's firmly in the slipstream. He should have the overspeed to get past. We'll see. Niall's going to defend this one because it is a top 5 position. So here we go. Jordan Kelly in the slipstream. Going to pull to the outside. He's going to have to try go around the outside very close as they come towards the line here. He's going to have the outside line. Niall Murray holds the inside line. Can he get the overspeed? Can he go around the outside? Niall Murray's late on the brakes. Jordan Kelly trying around the outside, but Niall Murray gives him the squeeze. He's still on the inside though as they run through here. There's wing damage on the left-hand side for Jordan Kelly, but he's kept it going, but he's still firmly in that slipstream. Here we go once again towards Young Cow. Here we go towards the outside line, Casino del Lago, excuse me, around the outside. Can he make it work on the outside line? Niall very late on the brakes. Nothing Jordan could do about that one. Does he have the switchback?
Oh, he's gone very wide.
He's gone wide, but he should be able to hold on to that one. He's going to have the run up the hill, but Niall's going to cover that one off. This one's going to go to the line, I think, between these 2. Jordan's still looking for that inside line. Niall's defending. Jordan's might going to have a pop on the brakes here. He's going to think about it. Niall defends again. It's going to be really tricky to negotiate away past Niall Murray here.
Yeah, they're scrapping like it's the last lap, but there's still another 2 to go after this one, so anything could happen between now and then. See, Kelly's just gradually just trying to look for a different line, just trying to get creative, find a way through, or distract his opponent in front. Again, just trying to get the run around onto the straight.
Yeah, so let's see. He's got another 2 laps to try. So we're going to go on to lap 19 of 20. So we're coming on to the last lap next time by. But now Jordan Kelly's going to have a pop, another try at Niall Murray, running towards someone back to the outside line again. He's going to have to try and outbrake him really hard here on the outside line. Going to try to sweep all the way around the outside. This time he has to leave the space. Jordan Kelly around the outside, and Niall Murray makes it work, but Niall's going to have another go in the slipstream. Jordan Kelly got a great exit that time, though, with the compromised line, and Niall Murray. Niall's going to have a pop. He's going to get in the slipstream. Jordan defends the inside line with all his might. Niall Murray's going to try and come back around the outside. He's going to try and outbreak him as they run towards his corner. There's contact made. Niall's around, and he's into the grass. The two of them go through. Jamie Moylan goes through to 4th place. Just contact made between Niall Murray, between Jordan Kelly. That is not what we wanted. That's not how we wanted that battle to end. But Jamie Moylan picks up the pieces, goes through to 4th place.
Yeah, it was quite aggressive turning in there. Be interested to see what Stewart's perhaps will say about that afterwards, but it was quite heavy contact. Anyway, Holman has come through into P6 as a result of that. Kelly's managed to continue still in P5, but Moylan came through to take P4 as a result of all that. So Jamie Moylan is definitely licking his lips together when he saw that contact. But Dempsey crosses the line to start the last lap. He's just done a 27.5. Eastwood's done a 27.1 behind, but he's got a probably big enough gap to hold on to this one, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be close because Charlie Eastwood's closed that gap to 9/10 of a second. So it could be quite tight as they run towards the line. So Peter Dempsey is on the last lap. All these guys are on the last lap now. It's going to be interesting. It looks like Peter's just going to have enough in hand to hold on to this one. So just biding his time. Charlie Eastwood not too far behind. Keith Dempsey's 3rd, but now Jamie Moylan is into 4th. Jordan Kelly, he's kept it going to keep himself in 5th. And Niall Murray's dropped down to 8th place by the looks of it. We're coming towards the last sector now. Peter Dempsey in the lead and going to extend his gap over Charlie Eastwood in the championship. Keith Dempsey's going to extend his championship lead, but not by much, as he's in 3rd place at the moment. So here we go towards the last 2 corners. Peter Dempsey has held on to that lead from lap 1, took it away from Shane Rabbit on the pole. Coming through the last corner, he's only got to negotiate the last couple of kinks as we go towards the line. Peter Dempsey once again in round number 3 coming towards the line. Peter Dempsey wins the feature race here in Interlagos. Charlie Eastwood is 2nd, and Keith Dempsey rounds out the podium in 3rd place. Jamie Moylan is 4th. Jordan Kelly will hold on for 5th, even with that contact, will come across in 5th place. And James Holman, another great result in 6th place. David Martinez has somehow managed to come through to finish in 7th place there. And looks like it's going to be Stefan Keller after that. But we have to say congratulations to our driver of the day. It is going to be David Yamamoto. Even with the contact made, he's made over 25 positions in this race. So he's made his way through. So congratulations to Dave for winning the driver of the day.
Yeah, very close with Dowling and Stevens there across the line at the end, with Dowling coming across in 11. Yamamoto's just coming around to take the flag now. Unaware of his driver of the day award just yet, but I'm sure he'll be a little bit disappointed with how that turned out, but still when he finds out about that award, he'll probably be a little bit happier about it.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with that one. Of course, we have to say our other nominee was Charlie. His fantastic drive from 9th to 2nd, so he's done fantastic in both races, consistent podiums. So a great job from him. So he's just lost out on the award, didn't quite gain as many positions as David did. So congratulations, Dave. You are the driver of the day for round 3 at Interlagos.
So plenty of action there in those 2 races. The feature race didn't disappoint with the top 10 inverted, although the safety in numbers with turn 3 at the end. They had 5 cars towards the top, and they ended up clean sweeping the podium. So Peter Dempsey takes the win, followed by Charlie Eastwood, Keith Dempsey, Jamie Moylan, Jordan Kelly, James Holman, David Martinez, Stefan Callagher, and Olivier Van Herk round out the top 10, followed by Ricardo Stamontis, Adam Dowling, AD, Kyle Stevens, Tony Stack, Arturis Cordelis, David Yamamoto, Sergey Grabon, João Monteiro, Brian McManus, and he was in P19. Niall Murray ended up classified in P20 at the end after his adventure at the end. Chris Bays in P21, followed by Brad O'Neans, Ian Malone, Damien McMullen, Nathan Healy, Evan Walsh, Keith Rabbit, Damien Harris, Simon Wall in P29, and then we have the cars which found a lot of trouble many laps down. Wayne Douglas, Alex Denning, Joseph Odafaro, Ian Murray, Victor Gibson, James Wingfield, Nicky Meredith, Colin Bays, Richard Westbrook, unfortunately a terrible weekend for him, and Shane Rabbit. Rowan Hederman, Robert Barrable, David Budris, Barry Rabbit, Dave Collier, and Connor Murphy rounded out the field of those guys in contact on lap 1. So yeah, huge field of 45 cars, lots of action. Is this what we should expect from future rounds, Jack?
Absolutely. Of course, we're heading to Silverstone next time out on the 26th of this month, which of course Silverstone always brings some fabulous racing. So hope to see you all then for the next round.
So it doesn't look like we've got any drivers for interviews, so we can probably wrap this one up. So thanks for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the Virtual Racing Academy iRacing F3 Championship, sponsored by Brad Ryan Truck Rental and BMR. So I'm Brad Clank. We're joined by Jack Kanane, is it? And Samula Kumu behind the scenes production. Again, thanks for joining us, and be sure to join us again next time at Silverstone. Thank you.